Hey guys, episode 44 of the Stock Portfolio series. So, as discussed, I have applied to move my Hargreaves Lansdown and iWeb ISAs that contained the two gold and silver funds that I held before over to IG. So, that meant sort of selling and buying something that is common on both platforms so that it can transfer it intact rather than having to sell out into cash. So the Hargreaves Lansdown has the Vanek GDXJ and iWeb has Polymetal. So I was a little bit uncomfortable putting everything into one stock, but just sort of thought it'll only be for a few weeks maybe, could be a month, but I think Polymetal should sort of perform similarly to most of the funds really. So yeah, that's going over to IG, and then we'll decide sort of what to do once it gets over there. Probably just the Vanek funds in gold and silver. So that's sort of, these two have dropped in the last week, sort of caused part of the small loss in the portfolio, but it's all short term. So it's about 2,000 or so down overall on the portfolio this week, mostly those gold funds and the invest account slightly being propped up in the ISA with Bitcoin. On the ISA, the ARCPI is basically not even moved at all, which is unlike that. Most other investments just seem to be slightly down on the week. The REIT's not doing all that well. Quite glad I averaged into Argo blockchain. So sort of put a fair bit into this the previous week at sort of £1.60-ish. And we're back up to £2. So pretty happy with that. Back to sort of showing a reasonable profit. The Bitcoin ETP has done quite well because that's just the plain Bitcoin price, so that's up 16%. That's sort of helped the return quite a bit from some of the losing positions. Sentiment, along with the other miners, not doing too well over the last week. Kind of think this is still fairly temporary. DLR sort of not doing too bad. 3% gain seems to be against the grain with some of the other REITs. In the last week, at least, long term, they all seem to be doing pretty well. First Majestic is down a fair bit in the last week, but again, fairly temporary. Mostly small positions. Polymetal obviously quite a bit down in the last week, so kind of, well, I wouldn't say bought at the wrong time in the other ISA because everything in gold and silver's gone down. Realty Income sort of pushing 70 now. They've sort of merged with another company, so they saw that as bullish, but it was a very short-term spike. Sylvania sort of pushing around my sort of all-time high price now, pretty much. So it's looking good. Again, metals price is doing well, so I think Sylvania is just lagging it as it always does. And that's sort of pretty much the ISA. Not too much move, as I say. Sort of a lot of things down aside from Bitcoin, so it's helping the return. And the invest account is down a couple of thousand, I think, or maybe 1,000. Yeah, that's not too bad. Big sort of movers really. Archer Daniels doing quite well. Haven't seen any specific news. I think this is partly just commodity prices doing well, inflation. This is my sort of one of my inflation bets. A lot of the other positions are just sort of either flat, slightly down. Things like Bristol Myers, slightly down for the week. I think this is sort of US earnings week. Some companies haven't done so well, so they're dropping off a little. eBay was one of those, 8% down in the last week. I thought it was a pretty good set of results, but they're saying this quarter has been a little bit weaker than expected, so seems a hell of a drop. If we get some money coming from crypto sales, probably be buying up a little bit more of that. FedEx, quite the opposite. Nice gain on that. Doing really well on FedEx at the moment, 15%, considering I've added quite a bit more in the last few months, so that sort of dampens the return down. Intel and International Paper haven't really moved. ETFs haven't moved a great deal. Global Clean Energy's down slightly, which isn't too bad. Hopefully over the next sort of few months, I'm expecting this will be pretty much the end of my sort of large holding in crypto. If you've seen my other videos, I've got more in crypto than I have in stocks, so I'm expecting that to come way down. So I would ideally like a lot of these stocks to drop a little bit more if I'm increasing a lot of these positions. So quite happy with drops in some of these. Not too much else on these positions. Fairly sort of flat. Porsche, it's in a little bit of a drop. There's some sort of news that this might be about the SEC looking into their little joke name change. Well, Volkswagen really. So Volkswagen and Porsche have dropped. The change of name to Volkswagen with a T for the sort of electric car brand. I think if the stocks drop just because of that, then that's a bit ridiculous, really. I'm not buying just at the moment because I've got quite a lot and it's up. But yeah, if I'm adding more to the portfolio in total, then I probably would be up in that. Process down for the week. Haven't really seen what this was all about. 10 cents up, so I think this is probably just the market not liking what they're going to spend the 14 billion sale they got from selling some 10 cent. The market doesn't really seem to like all of the rest of their business outside of the 10 cent holding, so yeah, maybe people a little bit bearish about sort of the rest of their business still. But yeah, the gap between their market cap and 10 cents is widening now, so might be putting a bit more into that if we get some more cash. Sony was another faller, again sort of weak-ish earnings, didn't think it seemed too bad, so yeah, down on this, probably put some more into them if we get some more money coming. Same again with Stellantis. I don't really think the market is valuing sort of the two groups, Fiat Chrysler and Group PSA put together. I think a lot of the sort of financials are looking back at just Fiat Chrysler. Might be wrong on this, but we'll see sort of in the next few quarters how their results look. And yeah, I'm fairly bullish on this. TSMC still sort of slightly moving down. Be very happy to sort of increase this holding if we get some more money come in. Very bullish on TSMC. They've got practically the whole market, it seems now. Sort of far ahead of a lot of the competition. Yeah, and Volkswagen, as I say, sort of Porsche and Volkswagen down pretty much the same. Can't really see why. Obviously this isn't really a 10% loss because I've only just rebought it in the invest account, so it's still my sort of original buy price was about €125, so still doing pretty well on that. That is the ISA for the week, or the stocks and shares total. Most of this is in the invest account at the moment now. But yeah, so leave your thoughts in the comments below, and drop a like and subscribe if you want to see more. See you soon.